Our RV has a problem. Now, before you get all bent out of shape, this has nothing to do with the embassy build. It's all about the Ford chassis that it's built on. In the past, we have not had great luck with our Ford dealers. They will not work on Fords that have been uplifted, in other words, made into RVs. And some won't even work on any Ford van, period. This includes things as simple as an oil change. You don't need to lift the van for this, so I don't understand why they refuse to complete the service. But it is the way it is. Since September 2025, we had a kind of grinding noise in the back of our van when we make turns. That's not good. And it was getting worse. I asked about it on the Embassy RV Owners and Wannabes group, and it was suggested it was probably something to do with the differential. For those that don't know what a differential is, like me, it's a
crucial gear system that sends power from the engine to the wheels, but its main job is to let wheels on the same axle spin at different speeds, especially when turning, preventing skidding and ensuring smooth motion by using gears to split torque and allow for varying wheel rotation.
Yeah, what he said. Anyway, I went to my local mechanic to have the differential fluid changed, just in case it was that simple, but unfortunately, after they changed it, the problem remained, so I had to find a Ford dealer. The Ford Pro website gives you a list of dealers that should work on motorhomes built on a Ford, but it was next to useless. It listed a lot of possible dealers, but when I called them, they would not work on RVs. They didn't care if it was a Ford Transit. One place told me to try a dealer up north, since that was the only one they knew of that would work on modified vans. Even though they were a commercial vehicle center, when I called them, they told me they stopped working on them as they had too many break-ins and didn't want to deal with the insurance. Great. At least they did refer me to one other dealer, so when I called and told them my story, they were very sympathetic and explained that they were getting a lot of people in the same boat, or van. They were booked solid at the time, but we were able to make an appointment for a few weeks later. This dealer is 40 minutes away from our place, so we got up very early December 8th, 2025, and drove for the 8 a.m. appointment we made. They were already opened and took me right away. They checked me in, so I thought they'd look at it right away. I made an appointment for a specific time, right? But as we have found out with all Ford dealerships locally, it was going to take a while to get the van on a lift and diagnosed. So my wife picked me up and we headed home. Now, before I continue, there are some things you need to take care of regarding your transit van, but before taking it in for a more serious problem. If you think the weather is going to get colder, and it was winter, so I had to assume it would, make sure you've already emptied the water from the RV and done whatever winterizing that may be necessary. That fan is going to sit outside many days before it gets fixed, and you don't want even more issues because of freezing weather. Another thing to do, which I forgot to do, is shut off the house batteries. Our lithium batteries do not want to be drained to zero, which can damage them. So I had to call the dealer and explain the issue. Fortunately, they were very accommodating and they got them switched off for me. Again, the RV is going to be there for who knows how many days, and you don't want those lithium batteries to get down to zero and possibly get damaged in the process. Okay, to continue. They provided me with a way to text them, which was great, but I ended up having to keep texting them to find out where we were in the process. This went on for weeks. They finally looked at the issue on January 5th, 2006. Yes, you heard that right. Almost a month sitting at Ford. They said the issue was not covered by warranty since I had gone to someone other than a Ford dealer to change the differential fluid and they hadn't added friction modifier. Oh joy. So instead of being paid for by warranty, we had to pay almost $2,400 for the repair. We had no choice. We needed it fixed. And so it came to pass. We picked up the van 2 days later on January 7th, 2026. A full month after we dropped it off. Now granted, they are busy with a lot of cars, trucks, and vans on their lifts, but an entire month just to get the van on a lift? Alright, the van is back. It was dropped off December 8th, and now it's January 7th, so it was in here an entire month. So, there you go. We'll see how it goes. Everything seems to be working. Talk to you later. So, what do I think about all this? To give them credit, they were always polite, and when I asked for it, kept me informed of what was going on. Not only that, they were able to shut down the lithium batteries with no issues. So, kudos to them for that. That is superior service in my book, and that seems harder and harder to find these days. That said, we had made an appointment for a specific day and time when they said they were available, which would lead you to believe they could at least diagnose the issue that same day. That didn't happen, not by a long shot. I wish they had let me know that was the case before, or at least scheduled a time when they could look at the problem that day. Also, information was not as forthcoming as I would have liked. It would have been nice to hear from them at least each week concerning where they were on the process, especially since the van was there an entire month. Of course, some of that time was during the holiday season, so I didn't expect anything then. But I had dropped it off at least 2 weeks before those holidays, so what was the delay then? And then there was the warranty issue. I mean, we had this problem before getting any differential fluid replaced, friction modifier or otherwise. So was that a valid reason to deny warranty? Maybe, maybe not. It is what it is. Enough said about that. Will I go back to this dealer? Sure. They weren't disrespectful, and I never felt they just wanted money and didn't care about the issue, even with the warranty denial. They did the job, and the van is running smoothly with everything working. Overall, they did the job. Do I wish things had turned out better? Of course. But in the grand scheme of things, this is just a little bump in the road. Not a cavernous pothole you can't get out of. $2,000 is $2,000, yes. But we didn't have a major accident because of the issue, and we've avoided lots of pain in future. You gotta pick your battles, and this ain't one of them. We're driving a packed house on wheels, and our embassy RV affords us luxuries that aren't available everywhere or to everyone. Keep that in mind, especially when things like this happen. Live life in the moment and count your blessings. And as always, be seeing you.